I started having dreams about a house. And then one day I received a letter and it became mine. But now it won't let me sleep until I invite others.
Just one step at a time, and baby, you will be mine.
Welcome.
There are 3 keys.
If your friends are wise enough, they'll be able to solve the clues and save you.
Joey, what is that?
Another clue, guys.
You are the YouTube killer.
It's gotta be Justine. This blame game is going to be the death of us.
I'm scared.
This is never going to end. We are all going to die.
This is the worst party ever.
Joey Graceffa, everybody. Come on, one more time. Make some noise. Unbelievable. We got him. He's here. Joey, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the show, by the way.
Thank you.
I got a chance to check out some of the episodes. I love it. It's tons of fun. We're going to talk about it in a second. But if you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about you first.
Sure.
Because you are kind of amazing.
Aw.
All right? I was telling the crowd before you came out here, obviously, you got your YouTube channel is one of the most, I'm going to say, probably the most prolific YouTube creator I've had the chance to talk to. Dude.
Oh, to talk to, okay.
Well, you know what?
I was like,
hang on.
Okay.
Let's go back. I'm going to say prolific in general because is it fair to say daily videos, right? That's like your mantra, almost every day.
Almost every day.
Almost every day,
Word
right?
almost.
So let's start there. That alone,
Okay.
impressive, okay?
Thank you.
But then just the past couple of years have been insane. I mean, music videos, singles on iTunes, your book, The Amazing Race, twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, twice.
Well, I don't really like to think about the second time because I didn't
Okay,
make it
fair
that far,
enough.
but
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a really good first season.
Awesome. But still, you were there. You did it, right?
Yes.
Short films, everything. I guess my first question for you is, what do you miss most about sleeping? Because I would assume you don't. How do you have the time to do all these amazing projects?
I mean, I guess I just like have help from the right people. There's no way that I could do this by myself. So I have people that help me in like different areas. So I am not a one-man show like I used to be.
Like you used to be. Well,
Right.
it's funny. You've been in the game for what, like 8, 9 years?
Yeah, like 9 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing, yeah. What, when you started, was sort of like the impetus for all of this? Why, 9 years ago, were you like, I'm going to do this. This is what I enjoy this.
Well, I was actually in high school. I was 15 years old, and before that, I had been making like home movies just with like the camcorder. And then finally, I got a digital camera, so I could put it in my computer. And then I had been watching some YouTube videos, and I was like, oh my God, like what if I posted? I could see what people thought about it instead of just like my family in the living room. So I did that, and then it took a while because I was like the one commenting on my own videos. I would literally be like, oh my God, this is like the best video ever.
Got to get that fire started somehow. Man.
Yeah.
Get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's amazing. So what would you say like was your goal back then? And could you have possibly fathomed that this is where you would be?
No, absolutely not.
No way.
It's absolutely insane to like, I mean, that picture right there is on billboards in Los Angeles, which is
How amazing is that? Yeah.
mind-blowing. Like I never thought like this little boy who was making YouTube videos would one day grow up to create a show like this.
That's clearly, because I saw your post, which is a really great post about like that moment and kind of taking it in and processing like, oh my God, look at this. So it's like clearly a defining moment. What are some other big moments from your career thus far that you like look back and go, oh that stand out over the 9 years? Moments that were like landmarks like for you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked that because like a lot of people like just ask for the one moment, but there's definitely been so many different key moments because I feel like as people like we grow and we have different goals in our life, and once we achieve that, we move on to the next one. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to achieve some of my goals and then strive for bigger and better. I think the first one was just having the guts to leave my hometown, Massachusetts, and drive cross country to live in California, surviving off of my YouTube videos. And once I did that, I was so free from my past, and I just got to start over and do what I love to do. And then after that, I guess the first thing was getting on TV for The Amazing Race, which was the trip of a lifetime. Like, I got to explore the world and do some crazy things, like jump off of a building and like dig for sandcastles in Bora Bora, just like crazy fun stuff. And then when I came back, I just wanted to really focus in on my channel, and then started collaborating with some YouTubers. And within a year, I went from 250,000 subscribers to 2 million.
Crazy.
And it just like happened so quickly that it kind of, I got a lot of pressure to like make sure that I was doing better than the day before. And then I guess just moving on to my web series Storytellers, which was crowdfunded. And then, now getting my own YouTube Red show.
It's crazy. Well, congratulations on all those things, man. Each one of them, amazing achievements. I'm curious to go back to the first one. You were saying when you moved out of your hometown, and to kind of compare contrast with like the idea of going from like 200,000 to 2 million. What do you remember approximately what the number was when you were like, this looks like enough, I think I can move, or like what it was, like what were you looking at to help you make that decision of like, now's the time, that's where I gotta go?
It was when I got offered to join a YouTube network, and this was like the first YouTube network. It's called Maker Studios.
Yeah.
So at the time, it was just called The Station, which was like a collection of YouTubers just collaborating with each other. And it was like this godly group of YouTubers making videos together. And I think a lot of people were so jealous of the community that they had. So being invited to be a part of that was like, hell yeah, I'll drop everything and move across the country. So I guess it was that was the catalyst to make me do the jump.
Totally.
And I hated college, so I dropped out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the community. Obviously, that's kind of, I think, one of the biggest and probably best part about sort of, if you can like even consider like this new medium, like YouTube is sort of its own thing. It's not like TV. It's not like movies. It's its own thing.
Exactly.
I think community is a big part of it. What's the community sort of been like for you on this journey? And like how have you sort of embraced it? How have you interacted with it? And just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, it's weird because YouTube is not only my job, it's my life. Like after doing it for like a third of my whole being on this earth, it's just a part of me. And
does that ever blow your mind real quick? Like a third of your, that's crazy.
It's insane. So a lot of my friendships, most of them came from YouTube because you find your group. And in high school, like I didn't really have that many friends. I always kind of like, you know when you have to like partner up with someone in the class? Yeah. I didn't have a person to partner up in class.
Were you partnering up with, were you a teacher kid? Were you the one that had to partner with the teacher?
I was either the teacher or the teacher would have to be like, all right, you can join that group.
Third wheel.
Yeah, I know, it was awful.
I've been there.
Oh, I hate that situation. You just like
it
know that
builds
it's
character,
coming.
right? That's what you tell yourself when you're older. Well, it builds character.
Yeah.
You justify it, but yeah.
So it is very strange the fact that people want to watch my videos, and I have like 6 million people that watch me. It's insane. It boggles my mind because I was the kid that no one wanted to be their partner. But you find your group of people on YouTube so much easier because you can watch their life, and it's so easy to just like follow them on Twitter and then reach out and just be like, hey, like, be cool if we hung out. So that's how I found my friends and became more confident and comfortable with who I was. And there's so many different groups on YouTube. Yeah. So you can find your people online.
Yeah, so you're right. There's just so many that it's hard to feel isolated. It's like, because you will connect with somebody.
Right, exactly.
You mentioned the 6 million, by the way, which I think it might be more, honestly. You have ton. I was looking at the numbers last night. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's a ton.
But
as you make that exasperated sigh, I want to know, do you ever feel like a responsibility or a weight of that number of like, oh my God, so many people. I either not necessarily need to be careful about what I say, or need to make really clear decisions about what I say to these 6 million people, or I want to say a specific thing to these 6 million people. Like, does that ever play a role?
Oh, for sure. Like, I have to be very, like, I think I'm a cautious person anyways when it comes to, like, how I express myself. But online, I mean, I try to not say anything that's offensive to people just because I don't want to put that out there. And, I mean, there's different aspects of my life that I will share and choose not to share. But it's been a learning process. Like, just I've made mistakes and I've learned from them. So, yeah.
Cool. How was you were at VidCon recently?
Yeah.
How was that? Did you have a lot of fun there?
It was absolutely insane. The first VidCon that I went to was 7 years ago, I guess. I don't know where the time
It's
went.
changed a lot since then, though. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that's true. They say it's their 7th anniversary. I feel like they miscounted. But
They're not keeping track. They're not.
But the first VidCon I went as a fan with 100,000 subscribers, waiting in line to meet like Smosh and Lisa Nova, Justine. Turns out I ended up living with Anthony from Smosh like a couple years later. And then
Wait, is that how it works? Like, if you join one of those groups, do they just have like a house and they put all of you in like one house?
No.
Oh! This was just all right. It was just
This
like
was just-
coincidence.
we
that-
became
yeah.
friends.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Sorry, I really wanted that other thing to be true, but I guess that's fine. Keep going.
So anyways, flash forward to this year, my face, that picture is
Yeah.
blasted huge all over VidCon, and it was just a very surreal moment to feel like you're kind of like this big deal here, and like coming from my memories of the first VidCon.
Well, yeah, because you never really feel any different, right? You're still you.
Right. Yeah.
But here you are, a couple stories tall, and you had a standee by the books as well, right? There was a little cardboard cutout of you. That's got to be fun to walk up and see.
That was Joey from last year. That
Yeah, that
was
was last year,
brown-haired
Joey.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for last year, Joey? Like, just keep going, because it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you do, obviously I was kidding before, obviously you have time to sleep, and you do have time to travel and hang out a lot. I saw you've been to Disney a couple of times, and I just was wondering what it is about that draws you to Disney. I only bring it up because me and a couple of my friends, we love to go. Some people give us a hard time because we don't have kids yet, but I think you can enjoy that park no matter what age you are.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is a really selfish, indulgent moment of the interview for me, but it looks like you have a ton of fun there, and just like I imagine a lot of it was once like, you're in LA. Of course, you're going to go there and hang out.
Oh yeah, I have a yearly pass.
Okay, so I have an ulterior motive. So
Bill.
bringing this up. What the difference between your first time at Disney and the first time you got your VIP tour? Because that to me is like how you know you made it. Yeah. Real quick, do you want to tell what the VIP tour is?
Oh
the people that
my,
think
it ruins you. It ruins you. Yeah, I went with a friend who got the VIP tour. It wasn't because of me. I think it was. I mean, Maker I think was trying to like show off. So yeah, they just like this person. By the way, if you ever go to Disney and you see someone with like a plaid vest, usually there's a celebrity with them. So that's how you know. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that by Disney.
No, this is
like
all
I'm blacklisted.
It's out there. It's fine.
So I had that, and basically they take you to the front of the line. They just tour you around, give you like secrets.
So I had imagined by like 11:30 in the morning you're done. You've done everything, right? Because you haven't had to wait on any of the lines.
Yes.
Twice.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
That's the dream. That's the all right. So let's talk a little bit. That's all right. That was for me. Thank you for indulging.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Escape the Night.
Sure.
Like I said, I got to see the first 2 episodes. I believe episode 3 just came out yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday. They come out on Wednesdays.
Yeah. On Wednesdays. Awesome. How did this start? How did this come about? Where did this project come from?
So I have been so fascinated with escape rooms. So I did one of those, and I just found it so cool. And I was like, oh, I wish I could just like live in this, and like this would be like a real life experience. So then like my mind started going, and I was like, oh my God, like murder mystery dinners. Like I feel like that could be connected somehow. And then I was like, but I want to do it with my friends. So I came up with this idea of doing like a clue style, like invite my friends to a dinner party, a murder takes place, and then we have to solve it and have puzzles similar to escape rooms. So I created this story where I'm set in the 1920s. I've inherited this house, and I invite my YouTube friends to a dinner party. A murder takes place, and now we have to find our way to safety and escape the night.
Yeah, it's tons of fun, and it's because at what point did you go? Because like honestly, a lot of people would just be like, get a bunch of great people together in the room, do the murder mystery thing, film that. That's the show. But there's also this really cool like narrative that's running through it,
Yeah.
and this really kind of spooky story that's going on that ties in like. All these great sort of mystical elements. Where was that always a part of it? Did you come to that
Yes.
later? Like
I always wanted. It's kind of similar to like a video game. Like you're playing the video game, and then it cuts to like a sequence of like explaining like what's happening. So basically, each episode starts with a scripted scene that explains the history of the house that the YouTubers are solving clues in. So, for example, like episode 2, there's this machine called the Ungodly Machine where it's in the basement, and this evil scientist is
so creepy.
yeah,
Yeah.
creating this monster. And then in that, like after that, it cuts to the YouTubers solving clues that have to deal with that machine that we didn't realize at the time was what we were going to have to face at the end of the episode. And we end up having to vote our friends to go into the basement, and one of them would die and one would come back.
Yeah, you start knocking them off real early in the series. I was like, whoa, like it like gets right to it. There's no downtime. You guys pick it up, and the pace is great. The creature design and like the makeup and all that stuff was also. I was just like taken back. I was like, wow, because you guys show the monster and it's horrifying, and it's pretty amazing. Where were some of those designs yours? Or did you work with who'd you work with? Like, where did that come from? That's amazing.
No, that was actually me before I put makeup on. That's just what I look like.
That's all it was. Just get
Yeah,
you in early.
they just
you in that
woke
weird
me up
bath
at
thing.
4 a.m. and I was upset.
Boom.
No, I unfortunately can't take any credit for the monster stuff. That's the amazing makeup team mixed in with the director.
Yeah.
They have these crazy ideas of stuff. So
Do they like bring you drawings and you're like, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. The cast on this, by the way, so this is tons of fun. I know that's really small for you guys to read that out there, but just some of the names. We've actually had a couple of these people here. We've had Lele here. We've had Justine here a couple of
Oh
times.
my God, how was Lele?
She was awesome. I'm not going to make you pick a favorite.
Did she sit in the seat the whole time, or was she running around?
She got up. Did she get up? I'm trying to remember. She told some amazing stories about like how skydiving is kind of her litmus test when dating a guy, like whether or not it's going to work out. So it's like, if you can convince a man to jump I jump out of a plane for you. That's
Yeah.
how you know. And there were some other stories about early pranks that she played with dog poop. I encourage you to check it out.
Okay.
She was a lot of fun. Again, I'm not going to make you pick a favorite, but I am going to ask you why it's Glozell, because it's obviously Glozell, because Glozell is amazing in this, and I love her.
Oh,
she
my
is so
gosh.
funny.
So funny.
Was she like that even when the cameras are off, just like you guys
Yes.
can't get anything done?
Like
Yeah.
one thing that happened behind the scenes, like when we were sitting in the trailer, since it was all night shoots, there was lots of like bugs and moths. And sometimes the moths would come into the trailer and she would freak out. She'd be like, a bird! And it was like the teeniest little moth, and she'd be like, oh my God, there's a bird in here. There's a bird. And we're like, Glozell, that's not a bird. It's just a moth.
Yeah.
And she would be freaking out, which
She
was so
is
funny.
Hilarious. And because it is kind of like sort of, did you guys film it in like a reality show way of like you guys are ad-libbing a lot off of each other and playing off of one another? 'Cause
None of us had lines. The only lines
Yeah.
were me on the stairs, like, welcome.
Yeah, it feels very real and like half the fun. It's like the Avengers of YouTubers. That like you guys all come together and you just kind of play off of one another and have jokes and have a
Exactly.
good time with each other.
And just feeling like we're actually in this murder mystery setting, which it's just us being kids playing make-believe.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I have one more question, and then we're going to open it up for audience Q&A, so guys, get yourselves prepped. And this one's a kind of easy one. Some of the clues and riddles and puzzles are, like, very intricate and, like, really well, like, did you have a team do that? Is that you? Did you have it? Because I know this is something you loved and wanted to do with your friends.
Yeah.
Are there, like, some puzzles that you wrote beforehand? Like, what's that process?
So because I wanted to be part of it and I wanted to actually play the game, I took a step back and didn't want to be involved at all with the clues. I gave like story aspects that I want to have happen, and characters such as like mermaids and circuses. I was like, those need to be included, but I don't want to know when it's going to happen or how to solve the clues, because I want to play and have genuine reactions. So the director actually hired people who have an escape room, which is, I haven't gone to it, but it's in LA, and that's what they do for a living. So they came onto the show and basically took what they know and brought it to the show.
Very cool. Well, it's tons of fun. It's Wednesdays, Escape the Night on YouTube Red. We're not done. We're going to open it up to audience Q&A. So now's your time, guys. We got a mic going around.
We're going to start with a question from an online viewer.
Yeah.
So Ben would like to know, if you could make a season 2 of Escape the Night with any celebrities, who would you want on set?
Oh my god.
So good.
Good
job, Ben.
I would celebrities. I mean, I kind of wanted to mix traditional celebrities into the first season, but I kind of like the idea of it just being YouTubers. But if I could, it would have to be someone who's like cool and hip and gets it. So it'd have to be like Emma Roberts, or Shay Mitchell.
Okay.
People like that, like kind of like the teen demographic people who understand this world.
Who kind of get who understand the world and get the
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like that. Next, what do we got?
Hi, I'm Sydney.
Hi,
and
Sydney.
I wanted to say, how different was it for you to act in a series rather than making vlogs or your typical YouTube videos? And did you like it better?
Well, the cool thing about the show is like none of us are actually acting. We're just reacting to the situations we're put in. So it was us just being ourselves and getting to be thrown into these situations where we have to jump into a pool and rescue people chained to the pool, and like having to do exorcisms. So it was like us.
There's a great moment with the machine where Lele, where they explain it to her, and she literally just yells, "Why do you even have this?"
Yeah.
Like, what is this thing?
Right.
It's
Just-
just so genuine and real.
Exactly. Just moments like that. And we all bring something different.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Totally. Another one? We got.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was wondering, I know that you crowd-funded for some of your projects in the
Yes.
past. I was wondering if you have any advice with that, because I'm friends with a bunch of people who are all creative, and we always
Yeah.
want to work, but that's a little difficult.
So I guess there's like a few newer platforms that I haven't experimented with. I use Kickstarter, Indiegogo. They both have their flaws and pros to them. One of the flaws with Kickstarter, which is why I had to also use an Indiegogo, is Kickstarter doesn't take the money out. So people can pledge thousands and thousands of dollars, but they'll never actually pay it. So it can show up that you've made all this money and take the place of, like, say you only have like 2 of those perks. They'll take the place of that perk so no one else can, and then you'll never get that money. Indiegogo, you get the money directly, but I think Kickstarter is more mainstream and you get more eyeballs that way. And then I think there's new ones out. So yeah.
Well, everybody join me in thanking Joey for taking the time and being here. A little round of applause for Joey Graceffa. The show, Escape the Night, Wednesdays on YouTube Red. Joey, I had a ton of fun with you, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. This was really fun.
Joey Graceffa, everybody. Come on, one more time.